We have very nice question in that 44 session of questions and answers. We are talking about the two types of Nichabanga, Sun and Ascendant. Why one of them is socialist, the other is capitalist. What is going on here? We are also talking about country. What is the best country? How to see that? And what I think about the countries dilemma here, the mundane astrology thing. Then we are talking about Rasi Navamsha, which one is more important when it comes to this extreme state like debilitation. We have also two interesting for transits. In the last one, I will say why we are not doing the transit video. So let's start with the first one. First question, very interesting one. Does Nichabanga work in Dushtana house? So we could call it, we have a capitalist Nichabanga and socialist Nichabanga. The capitalist means that I can do everything by my own strength in that hyper-individualistic mode. This is when planet which is helping the Nicha one is in the Kendra. And then you have to find what to do by activating that planet and dasha of that Nichabanga planet. Nicha is debilitation, Banga is cancellation. When that period will come, it will help the other debilitated planet by whatever the Nichabanga planet means and is doing in the chart. Whilst when it is in Kendra to the moon, then we have like, moon has that binary meaning. It could be mind, but also could be society. So either you need something, mind change, could be mindset change. Like there are those saying that if you don't change your mind, then nothing will change. First, the change is starting in your mind. Or the mantra. So by mantra, you can really help those grahas in the Kendra to moon, or by wearing the gem. So if we combine these capitalist and socialist type of helping the Nicha planet, then we can have a situation when the planet helping is in the Dushtana. So the answer is yes, the planet in Dushtana can be a Nichabanga. But if it is in the Kendra to the moon. And we have a third type of Nichabanga when that planet which is debilitated is also exalted in the Navamsha. Then it rises to the peak because of the Vishnu blessings. So that should answer the question. And now the second one, we have a very similar about... The question is, which one is more important, D1 or D9? If a planet is exalted in D9 but not in D1, what to expect? I remember when I was starting Jyotish, like for 10 years, we didn't have those answers. We were only guessing, and even the guessing territory was not there. And now you are just watching some YouTube and getting all those informations for free. In Rasi chart, it's more about ideals. Navamsha is samsara power. So if it's strong in Navamsha, it is giving you that fortune. So external resources will be following whatever you want to do. It's good. It means good results, good outcome, success, and all the things which we are striving for in the samsara. For that, you need a good Navamsha. In Rasi chart, this is more like artistic, spiritual, artistic. I don't want to bring here any political division. So Rashi chart would be more about your ideal. Therefore, many spiritual people, strong Rasi, could be weak in the Navamsha. Maybe it's even better if it's weak in Navamsha. Aruda Lagna can bring the complication here because weak planet in the third or sixth, the benefic, in third or sixth from Aruda should be weak. So if they are weak in Navamsha, they may suddenly bring the fortune. So the Aruda may a little bit complicate. Rasi chart is more, let's call it artistic power, idealistic power, or artistic and philosophical power. And the Navamsha is more about the practical things, the money. We need status. And all those rat race who will have better Instagram, who will have better house and show off and all that wealth. Is that wealth coming from your work? It doesn't matter. Things like that, right? So in which race you are racing? In the Rasi chart or maybe in the Navamsha? Third question, which country is best for life? Now we have if we think about it, astrology is a very interesting tool because the object of prediction is asat, which is temporary things like human being, the suffering and enjoyment, the fun, the journey of a human being. But the karmic rules and whole methodology is, at least from theoretical point of view, eternal. So by eternal tools, we are trying to get the results. Therefore, I'm teaching on my courses that we are going through these two types of translation. First, from symbols to the ideas or karmic energies, then to manifested worlds. By intersecting many categories in that second level, we are getting to the result. Those who can see the second level by the so-called literal vision or direct vision, these are the prophets, we could say. These who cannot do it and are doing that by permutation, intersection of those ideas or energies on that second level, these are the astrologers. How good they are will depend in which proportion they will master those two types of translation. Now, two things which are making that mundane astrology my best branch of astrology. First, we don't have a point of birth where the country is born. There are some times when the country is non-existent in history, like it could be 100 years, the country is not there. Is it in reincarnation? Did it have Rahu in the ascendant, in the death chart, Punya chakra, so now becomes a ghost? Has a problem stuck in the reincarnation, it cannot come back? Or maybe there are no such ontological entities as countries, which could be some proposition here. The second problem is about the broadness or length of body, right? This is all very circumstantial and temporal. So you see the problem. You are using the tools which should give you the, of course, ethereal but objective ideas. End of chain is our journey. But with the countries, we don't have the anchor. We cannot hold to anything. The body can change. The countries may shrink. Now this city, it was Russia for such time. Here it was Ukraine. It is all changing. Now, is that group karma suddenly shifting for those people in so big way? So there are many ifs, many doubts. Whilst for the Jataka, for our birth, the texts are very simple and direct. You have to take the birth and we can know our body, what it belongs to and where it is going. We have a dasha. Everything is so clear. So a lot of problematic here. What we can do, two things. Continents may work because there is this, we are bringing the objectivity back by the borders of oceans. So the water, like there are in the Vedic texts that say, if you cross the ocean, you are losing the Gayatri power. So there is something objective to the crossing river, crossing water, crossing oceans that could work as a group karma thing. It's not so circumstantial. It's not a matter of opinion or five guys were sitting at the table and they were thinking, oh, should we make this city to this country? Is it really, you see the problem, is it really doubling with those eternal ideas? There is this mismatch here, I would say. Anyway, the second point is direction. So directions are also quite objective. There is no discussion where is south, where is southeast. You are taking your birth point. You can use those two to find your, for example, best place for career life, things like that. 10th from the moon, we are seeing the direction. It is giving you a nice answer for such questions, such dilemmas. By the way, if you like me to read your chart, Rasi Navamsha, Vargas, transits, yogas, remedies, block the negatives, accentuate the good things in your chart, then please consider booking the consultation. The link is in the description. Next, very short, what is the Kopa in your software Viveka? So Kopa is combustion. There are other usages for Kopa. Could be related to Malika maybe, planet by planet. But for this, how I am use it, it is for combustion. So being close to sun, the planet is combusted, or disappears after the horizon. Two last are about the Gochara. One is the transit should be seen from Lagna Rashi or a Moon Rashi. What's the difference? Best would be Aruda Lagna in my observation journey. From the moon, it also can give very nice results, especially if you are seeing it from the Navamsha or from other Vargas. So like Saturn in 12 from the moon or second from the moon is bringing that changes in your personal life or in your career life. This works very nicely. And then I was giving that methodology so many times, so probably you know that after that we are using the dasha. So first we see the transit is giving us some change, there is a change, and then there is the dasha. There could be some another more advanced level of using transits when it can give you the clarity and precision which is similar to dasha. But I think the dasha will still be the king. So on our basic level, what we can do with that, just the Gochara is showing the change, and where that direction is showing is by dasha. For example, 12 from the moon can give you divorce or marriage. This is the observation of many people. Therefore, from this observation, this methodology comes that, okay, there will be some status quo shake in which direction this will go now. Open the dasha, open the Navamsha and see what's there. How it will look the next Jupiter transit for various ascendant, for various signs. We don't know how it will look because it is so general that we cannot make any solid prediction. So here, the intersection between the simple and detailed or precise, there is no intersected eclipse here in that Venn diagram. We cannot find anything. It is so broad that the precision has shrinked to the level we are unable to say anything precise. Therefore, in our tradition, you will not see any type of such videos. At least to my knowledge, there is nothing in this convention. Of course, we could do it from perspective of aesthetics or entertainment or just to exercise our imagination, because what you are doing in those videos is that you are connecting the meaning of planet, house, and sign, and you are unifying them into some one picture or one situation. So this is definitely nice exercise. And those astrologers who are doing that in a very nice way, they are very popular on YouTube. They have a lot of recognition. And it's nice to hear this is a real skill. This is like poetry. This is like prose or writing. So it demands separate skill to do that. Is that landing on something in your life? Will that prediction be reflected in anything in your life? Probably not, because it's too general. But as exercise or entertainment, it definitely is a good thing. That would do for today. And if you want to see the previous session, then please consider watching this one.